All right, this is the ratio homework number 2. Number 1 says, which ratios are equivalent to 20 over 90? Circle all that apply. So you could just reduce 20 over 90. Reduce by 10 on the top and the bottom. That would reduce to 2/9. And then we could go through and reduce each one of these to find out which ones are equal to 2/9. Another way that you can do that is on the calculator. We can type in 20 divided by 90, and that gives us the repeating decimal of 0.2. So we can check the other ones to see if they're equal. 25 divided by 95, that one's not equal, it's a different decimal. So then I would try 80 divided by 360. That one gives me a repeating decimal of 2. So that one is equivalent. Then I would try 6 divided by 72. No, that one's not the same. How about 9 divided by 2? No. 8 divided by 36. That one gives me a repeating decimal of 2, so that one's also equivalent. Okay. So number 2 says, are the ratios 14 over 35 and 20/30 equivalent? Show work to prove your answer. So I'm going to let you guys do this one. You can either reduce the fractions to see if you get the same fraction, or turn them into decimals to see if they're equivalent. Number 3 says, in a serving of mixed vegetables, there's 30 peas and 18 pieces of corn. Circle all the ratios that are equivalent to the ratios of peas to corn in the given serving. So if I wrote peas to corn, I would write 30 over 18. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn that into a decimal by doing 30 divided by 18, and that's equal to 1.6 repeating. So I want to do the same thing. I'm going to check which one of these fractions is equal to 1.6 repeating. It says circle all the ones that are equivalent. So I'll do a couple with you. So that first number, it's hard to read. I'm going to say it's 45 divided by 27. I get the same 1.6 repeating, so that one I'm going to circle. If I do 3 divided by 5, that's a different value. That one's 0.6, so this one is not equivalent. So I'm going to leave the rest for you guys to check. All right, number 4. An internet, telephone, and cable TV package costs $85 a month. The internet part of the bill is $26. The telephone part is $16. So what's the ratio of the internet bill to the cable TV bill using 2 equivalent ratios? Okay, so the ratio of the internet to cable. So if I go back up, the internet part of the bill is $26, so I'm going to put 26. The telephone part is 16. Well, they don't really tell me what the cable part is, but there is a way that we can figure that out. I know the internet's 26, the telephone is 16, and all together it's 85. So I'm going to add these two together. 6 plus 6 is 12. And I get 42. So if the total's 85, I can take that total, subtract the internet and the telephone, and this part left would be the cable TV. So the cable would be $43. So now it also says write 2 equivalent ratios. So there's a couple different ways. We could reduce. So if I look at that, I could reduce, or I could multiply through. So let's say I multiply by 2 on the top and the bottom. 26 and 26 would be 52. and 86. I could also multiply through by 3. 26 times 3 would be 78. 43 times 3 would be 129. So those are two equivalent ratios to that. All right, number 5 says, the food stand at the fair sells small, medium, and large fruit drinks. The medium drink is made with 9 parts juice, 5 parts fruit, 7 parts crushed ice. Write the ratio of juice to fruit and crushed ice. So the ratio to juice to fruit and crushed ice. Okay, so if I go back over, juice is 9 parts. Down here, there's 2 things. They want fruit and crushed ice. So if I look at 5 and 7, I would combine those to be 12 because they wanted both the fruit and the crushed ice. So now you guys are going to do exactly what we did up above, and you're going to make 2 more equivalent fractions by multiplying through by whatever numbers you want. So you need 2 more. Okay, on the back, number 6. The bookstore employs 4 people. The ratio of women working in the store to the total number of workers is 3 to 4. Write this ratio as a fraction and as a decimal. Well, 3 to 4 is the same as 3 over 4 as a fraction. And then to change that into a decimal, you already might know what 3/4 is. Or you could do 3 divided by 4, which is equal to 0.75. So for part B, it says, what's the ratio of men working in the store to the total number of workers? And then write that as a ratio and a fraction. Well, if there's 4 people in the store and 3 of them are women, that means 1 to 4, 1 of them are men out of the total 4. So if I do the same thing, write it as a fraction, that just means 1 over 4. And then I'll let you turn that into a decimal, either by dividing it out or if you know what 1/4 is. All right, number 7 says, last winter, the ratio of days with snow to the days with no snow was 1 to 12. So this would be snow, this would be no snow. Write this ratio as a fraction in simplest term. Well, I'm just going to take that ratio of 1/12, and that's turning it into a fraction. Now, there's nothing that I can reduce, so we stop right there. Number 8 says, a salesperson's ratio of successful signups to the number of people called is 0.125. This month, the salesperson has 25 signups. So how many people did the salesperson call this month? Okay, so they're saying signups to actual people called. Well, if I look at this decimal, if I change that into a fraction, it would be 125 thousandths. Okay, now they want us to figure out, well, if there was 25 signups, how many people did they call? This is what we don't know. So what we need to do to figure this out is to cross multiply. So 125 times x is 125x. And when you multiply 1,000 times 25, it's 25,000. And then to solve for x on both sides, it's just like an equation. Divide by 125 on each side. And you would be left with, on your calculator, do 25,000 divided by 125. So that would be 200 calls. Okay, number 9, in a recent student government election, the ratio of students who voted for the winner to all the students was 0.064. The number of students who voted was 125. So how many votes did the winner get? So for this one, we need to do the same thing. We're going to turn that decimal into a fraction. So this would be 64/10ths. Okay, so that's the ratio of students who voted for the winner to all the students. So this is the ones that voted for the winner. This is all votes. So this says the number of students who voted in total was 125. So all of the ones that voted was 125. How many votes did the winner get? So you're going to set it up like that, and then you're going to solve it like we did up above by cross multiplying. Okay, I'm going to leave you that one to solve by yourself. And then the last one, number 10, in the workbench drawer, the ratio of hex bolts to all bolts is 0.14. Write that as a fraction in simplest form. Well, to turn a decimal into a fraction, we're going to do the same thing, 14/10ths. So then all you need to do is put that in simplest form by reducing. So if you're not sure what goes into 14 and 100, I would start with 2 and reduce by 2 so that you get a new fraction in simplest form.